Hey everyone, it's Libby from maighstirtarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Worimi First Nations people, the traditional custodians of the land on which these videos are made, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides at the Universal Energies. Oakley dokley, what I want to have a look at, a couple of things I want to have a look at. I want to have a look at how's the Orange Twerp's health after his recent travels. He's not a well person. I'm just going to put it that way. He's not well on many levels, and entertainment only on many levels. And flying internationally is not good when your health is not good, especially for the lungs and the heart. So I want to have a look at his health with his recent travel. Didn't go so far to Canada, but went to The Hague and back again in the space of about 24, 48 hours, something along those lines. But what I also want to have a look at in this particular reading, and I'm using the Trip and Wait Tarot for those that like to follow the decks, I want to have a look at the Orange Twerp publicly voicing and posting to his Untruth social, wanting to save Netanyahu from his internal in Israel corruption trials, and calling it a witch hunt. Yeah, we've heard that. We've heard that line before, that playbook before. It's the same old, same old. So I want to have a look at how that's going to go for Netanyahu. I mean, to be honest, it's none of his business, the felon's business, except for the fact that he's been promised land in Gaza. He supports Netanyahu. I actually do want to have a look at Kushner at some stage. I might do that on Monday. I'll have to note it down because Kushner's been very quiet, but apparently Ivanka is going to Bezos's wedding in Venice, and the Venetians are absolutely outraged about the fact that he bought their city for his wedding, and very apt protests going on. I watched Hogarth's Global Astrology last night. Yes, us readers, we do watch other readers, but I don't do it until after I've read for the day to see what other people are picking up. And on the Hogarlish reading, which is alive, Hogarth, Lady G, Lena from Tarot Down Under, and Celtic Sheila. They did a reading on the wedding, and while they were pulling the cards on it, all I got in regards to his fiance, soon to be wife, was that she knew how to please him in the sack. Was what I got, and that's what's blinding him at the moment. He's getting it like he's never got it before. But let me put it this way: I think he's going to end up regretting that marriage. But that's just gossip, as Lena would say. Not enough gossip. But anyhow, so 45 is now coming out, trying to stop his mate Benjamin Netanyahu from facing corruption trials. Now, Netanyahu had, it's such a complicated web they weave. Netanyahu, literally the next day, was meant to go and face the courts. He had tried to push through legislation to disband the Supreme Court, because he's been facing corruption charges for a long time now, and the ICC also wanted, the International Criminal Court also want him for crimes against humanity. He is a master manipulator. He's the old smooth-tongued snake, if you've ever seen one. He could sell coal to Newcastle, just putting it out there. So Newcastle, Australia, is the biggest coal port in the world, in case you're wondering why I said coal to Newcastle. He, prior to the attack in October, was it 2 years ago now? 18 months ago or so, literally the day before, he was supposed to go on trial, that attack occurred. So he then became a wartime president or prime minister, which meant that A, he couldn't be voted, there were no elections, but also he couldn't be charged, convicted. He tried to get the Supreme Court disbanded, and they have a law in, I believe, Israel that basically says if it's a stupid legislation, the Supreme Court can just tell them it's a stupid legislation and knock it out of the courts. And they ruled that on him trying to disband the Supreme Court. What's happened is Gaza's coming to an end. He knows that it's coming to an end because there's literally nothing left. There's nowhere for him to turn in continuing the attacks on the Palestinians in Gaza. So lo and behold, the day before they were about to hold a no confidence vote in government against him, and ergo get him out, Israel attacked Iran. There's a lot behind that as well. It's not just this one-off. He's been wanting to, first of all, attack the Palestinians and secondly, attack Iran for decades now, but it was just a really convenient timing. So what's happened now is that the attack on Iran has had its back and forth and back and forth. And he's finding now that the US, under the felon, is not coming in as he planned the US to. Now the felon's going on about bunker buster bombs or something like that. Trust me, if those bombs had been dropped, we would know about it. The whole world would know that those bunker busters had been dropped because they would have literally lifted the crust off the earth. So he just likes saying, he thinks it makes him sound tough, stealth bombers and bunker busters, and it's just him wanking off. I do apologise for my terminology there. So that's winding down as well because Russia's entered it and said, hang on, etc., etc. So the US are not entering. It's really complicated. So what's happening now is that the threat of the corruption trials is now once again looming over Netanyahu because he is now very shortly not going to be a wartime prime minister unless he can come up with something else to attack. So let's have a look. So I just want to show me about the orange twerp claiming witch hunt. Gee, where have we heard that one before? And of course, then he was convicted. About time he bought himself a new playbook. But okay. So what's Felon 45's interest? I'm going to ask, what's Felon 45's interest in him trying to interfere in another country's judicial process to save Netanyahu, aside from the fact that Netanyahu is Jared Kushner's godfather who's married to Trump's daughter Ivanka, it's just all quite incestuous. But what's Felon 45's interest here? Okay. Something not yet revealed to do with money laundering, or it could be election interference. Money laundering or election interference. The throwing under the bus, secrets coming out, something unexpected coming out. Right. It's going to force a retreat in the face of the justice system. Okay. It's to do with Netanyahu facing justice, but he has secrets that haven't been revealed, and I'm not sure whether I did get that Netanyahu would be the first one to go down in regards to publicly losing his leadership position. It's to do with secrets that Netanyahu has, and it's either about money laundering or election stealing and voter interference. Okay. And it is very much about if I go down, you go down with me. Very much this card is about the crabs in a you could put crabs, if you catch crabs and you put them in a shallow tray, like so that they could climb out. If one tries to climb out, the other crabs will pull it back in. They don't escape. It's very much if I go down, you go down energy. So that's why the felon is trying to save Netanyahu. Something to do with a plan coming to fruition to bring the ships in, and the agreement that was made. We'll hopefully find out. Okay, my next question is Netanyahu going to face the corruption trials? Is Netanyahu going to face his corruption trials? Okay. Okay, the Page of Pentacles. It's to do with money opportunities. Corruptions, is it money or the vote? Looking at, I think it's money. Looking at money. Okay. The challenge is that it's karma coming and biting him on the bum. Absolutely. The Hanged Man being sacrificed, being strung up. In the past, we've got this rah support announcements from the White House, but it's in the past. Been hung out to dry, basically. He's been hung out to dry he's going to be hung out to dry, Netanyahu. This is about, you've got the celebration and announcements and rah in the foreground, but everybody's walking away in the background. I know people say this is a wedding card, but I always am drawn to the people walking away. Is this the alliance with Kushner and Ivanka? Is this to do with that alliance? The reason why... Anyhow, let's keep going because I did ask, is he going to face? Yes, he is. 3 major arcana through line, which is yes, yes, yes. Yes, 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 yes. His star is no longer and he's going to be strung up to dry. It's to do with delusion, smoke and mirrors, poor choices based on greed and addiction, emotional choices. He's going to face a harsh truth here with the Knight of Swords, and it's to do with money changing hands. Absolutely. It's money changing hands. Dark money changing hands. Trying to keep it secret, the money changing hands. He's going to desperately also try to hold on to his position, but here's this King of Cups again, bringing his sword of truth. I mean, this could be the head of the ICC, but I don't know who the judges are in this corruption case, or the prosecutor. Could be the prosecutor. And yeah, it's going to be moved forward. Could also be a military coup over the government. And then we've got fleeing of the Emperor. The Emperor fleeing because he knows his time is at an end. Those that feathered their nest are going to have their secrets revealed. Okay. This is the plan to bring the ships in from overseas, nightmare situation, and finding themselves legally restricted. We've got the alchemy here of the wealthy oligarchs. We've got Russia here, and we've got big stick moment. There's something unexpected out of left field. and it's to do again with potentially trafficking or money laundering or thereabouts. So, pardon me, I think he's going to face it, and he's going to be he's going to be the first domino that goes down in regards to, I'm going to say, Netanyahu, Trump, and the Kremlin, because it's this is the end of him, and he knows it. He knows it's the end of him. I read on him and his wife Sarah a couple of weeks back, and I do get that they're going to take the Aldof Ada, was his partner Ada, wife, girlfriend, whatever she was, half out. Okay. So yeah, will the Netanyahu corruption trials, because they are going to go ahead, do they involve anybody associated with the Trump family? Cool, 2 yes cards. And then we've got the partnerships, the emotional overwhelming, yes, yes, yes. And there's the thrown under the bus and judgment, another yes. If I go down, you go down, judgment card. And then we've got the fleeing. Yeah, it does. Yes, it does. It involves the felon 45. Family. Personally. Walking away on the bottom there. Oh, walking away. Legacy. Corruption. Corruption, treason, betrayal, you name it. Harsh truth. Right, put those back. So yeah, first domino to fall will be Netanyahu, and it involves the felon's family. Personally, there's some sort of treasonous information that would come out. Yeah, justice and treason. Betrayal. There's something that would come out that is just ghastly. So, I want to ask, just as a bit of a gossipy, can't do a felon reading. Oh, look at those 2 cards there. The Tower and the Treason card. I want to have a look at his health. Yeah, and on the back foot, trying to defend, trying to parry away. How's his health? Now, British humour, which is European humour, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, we all have a humour based in dry wit, irony, scathing punching up, sarcasm, etc. We have a very different humour to the American humour. Not saying either's better, they're just different. The American humour tends to be slapstick in your face, personal jibes and barbs, etc. Humour. So very different humour. I'm just going to say Rute, boy oh boy, he was sticking it in. For those of us that understand the European humour, he was using his words like a rapier against Felon 45, and it went straight over his head. And it went straight over the head most of the mainstream media in the US, the independent stations like Adam Mockler and Midas Touch News and so on picked up on it. But yeah, trust me, Rute was not kissing anything. So, despite what the felon might think, and he fell for it hook, line and sinker. So, or hook, line, and stinker, as I like to call it. Let's have a look. How's his health going? I haven't had a peek at his health for a long time. How's his health going? Some legal action in regards to partnerships. Oh, Melania might be filing for a divorce. I read about 12 months ago that she was going to take Barry and go to Switzerland, and then recently apparently she's bought property in Switzerland. So I don't know why I picked up Switzerland, but yep, that's where she's heading. He was planning on the felon not winning. She's hanging out for him to fall off the twig, have a dirt nap, however you like to put it. How's this? Yeah, she's waiting for him to be strung up and ah, what is it? Hung, drawn, and quartered. She's waiting for it. But let's have a look. How is his house? Now, I just want to point out, I said that the narcissistic Leo in him was coming out. Have a look go to Denise Knight Divination, put in the search option Trump Astrology, and you'll see a video from about 3 years ago that explains the correct birth time astrology for the felon. Yeah, his legacy, his father, I'm going to say altered his birth time with the Fool, at the beginning, because the astrology was not good for his actual birth time. Probably at the pressure of his mother, lied about it and paid someone to have the birth time altered, because the actual and believe when I say these evil people, they follow astrology too, and they use it to their benefit when they can. Apparently Reagan was really big on astrology. Nancy even had somebody live in who would give them astrological advice. But yeah, apparently his actual birth time, the astrology was not good. So according to those cards, his family paid someone to have the birth time altered. So go to Denise, and what's happened is there's a really top astrologer whose name I can't remember, who is now since deceased, I believe, who looked at, and Denise mentions it in the video, who looked at the actual events in Trump's life and paired them up with the astrology at the time and found out correct day, but time is different. The time was different, and the time is really important. So, okay, I'm just going to put those down and bring you up for a quick explanation. The reason why there's such emphasis on sun signs, so the three majors are the sun, the moon, and the ascending. The sun sign was really easy for the newspapers to print. There are 12 sun signs in a year, so they could print 12 astrological predictions, easy peasy. But the most important are actually the moon and the ascending. Now the moon, because the moon's through astrology, it would be hundreds of this date to this date, this date to this date, this date to this, hundreds of different moon sign astrologies. Don't work in print media. Don't work in the papers. The ascending, you need your time of birth. And the majority of people don't know their time of birth. They know the day they were born, but they don't know the time. It was never on my birth certificate. And Denise and I actually separately, without even talking to each other, we said, right, we need to work out a time. And separately, we used our own personal methods to work out a time of birth. And then we came to compare notes, and we were literally within 2 minutes of each other. So I'm just telling you, the birth time is really important. And so therefore, even though the sun sign, it's in the top three, it is the ascending and the moon. And the ascending is number one. And according to this adapted chart, the felon's ascending is Leo. Just putting that out there. Okay, that was that long-winded explanation. So come on down. Let's have a look and see how his health's going lately. Denise is also doing a daily health reading on him, but I just want to see in relation to the plane taking off and landing and this long trip, how is his health actually going? Oh, cards, deck upside down. Right, okay. So signifier, cups, water, the genie out of the lamp, but I'm feeling this is air, water in his lungs. Okay. Water in his lungs. Oh, he's turning blue. Wow. Okay. He's having instances of turning blue. Now, I had a dream. It was so vivid the other night, and I was purely an observer of a figure that was underwater and trapped in an ice maze, and the rescue was 5 hours. To rescue the person out would take 5 hours, but it takes you minutes to drown. It was a really weird dream because it was not me and it wasn't anybody I personally knew in my personal life. And I'm wondering whether it was a dream about the felon. Wow, okay. So watch for him turning blue, water in the lungs. Ain't that the truth? Challenged by the sword of truth. Can also be um, a truth being told by a medical specialist, perhaps no, I'm not even getting, it's not leaking, it's being brought forward, but this is the challenge, is being told a truth by a medical specialist. It's something, there's a legacy there. What he's stewing in is his DNA legacy. Does he have, what did his mother die of? I know his father had Alzheimer's and or dementia and lived into his 90s. But is there a history of heart issues in his family? We know that he's got dementia, but is there heart issues or water on the lungs, congestive heart failure? Is there a history there? I'll have to look it up. Paternal grandfather or his mother or... Could also simply be the dementia card. Grandpa with his dementia. Yeah, he's off in La La Land. He's ignoring the advice and he's heading for a cliff. He's ignoring the advice that he's been given. Crowning the reading, trying to keep information about his health secret. Pentacles mean health. Swords can mean specialists because they are about research and wisdom, etc. Could also be information being brought out about it. Truth being brought out about it. I haven't looked to see what Anonymous are going to bring out, but they're trying to keep his health under wraps. However, there is going to be some sort of announcement made. It's going to appear minor, but it's going to be quite major. So it's going to appear like a minor announcement that's made. It may simply be a cancellation of a scheduled event or something along those lines, but there's more to it externally. Yeah, he did not do well. He's found himself really battered by this trip to The Hague. And he may have received some news that he did not want to hear. We've got here the emotionally walking away from it, again ignoring the advice. If I put my hands over my ears and go la 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 la, then I don't hear what's being said. But you've got this blue wave in the background, a water wave in the background. It's, I don't know whether it's a man thing or, well, my husband's the same. If I don't go to the doctors, he won't give me any bad news type thing. But walking away, emotionally closing down, but it's going to put him, it's going to force him into a screeching halt that they're going to try and keep secret, but it is not good. The tower moment. Again, but here's this underwater as well. A lot of water. Gosh, could it get any worse? Ten of Swords. Downfall. On the base, we've got justice, divine justice, action having consequences. Nice also says when you get the devil demands his dues always. But here we've got justice, actions having consequences, an ending, lunacy, perhaps, secrets revealed, perhaps, full moon, perhaps. And if I keep going, we've got here the offer of, could be a false knight bringing forward some sort of elixir, but the devil will have his due. The truth is not being told, that he may be forced to isolate or retreat, or there might simply be a light shone on what's happening. You've got the Wheel of Fortune karma, you've got the heart vascular event happening, an announcement from the White House about the felon. These are not good cards for him. I'm going to say I think he's in congestive heart failure. I think he's water on the fluid on the lungs. They're struggling to treat it. I don't think it's going to end well for him. I just heard, okay, if you hear my guys, oh, by the way, I was poker shuffling. So if you hear the poker shuffling happening, that was me poker shuffling. But I just heard, it sounded like it, I'm not sure whether it came from JD or JD's camp. We're not ready yet. Now, remember the meetings in Montana the other week? I read on that the other week. I'm hearing we're not ready yet. We're going to try and keep him going for a bit longer. He's in denial about it. I'm just going to say he's in total denial about it. Yeah, this is not good. This is not good. Okay. I'm going to leave it there. Don't wish ill on anybody. What happens, happens. What progresses, progresses. Let's leave it there. Love to you all. Take care.